I had been married to Jessica for 5 years. Life was stable, at least that's what I thought. But one night, everything I believed in came crashing down. It was a regular evening. I was at work, stuck in a late-night meeting, while Jessica was home. We usually texted each other throughout the day, but today, something felt off. Her responses were short, cold, like she wasn't interested in talking to me. Then at 10 p.m., my phone buzzed. A video call from Jessica. At first, I thought she had dialed me by accident, but as soon as I looked at the screen, my heart stopped. Jessica was on our bed, half-dressed, with another man. They were laughing, touching, completely lost in their moment. But the worst part, she didn't even realize her camera was on. A chill ran down my spine. My hands went cold. My vision blurred. Then, before I could stop myself, I screamed, "Jessica, what the hell is this?" The man froze. Jessica's face went pale, and then the call cut off. I sat there, shaking. My mind was racing. What do I do? Do I call her back? Rush home and confront her? Or do I stay quiet and plan my revenge? Everything I thought I knew about my marriage was a lie. And whatever I decided next would change everything. Life doesn't fall apart in an instant. It cracks slowly, piece by piece, until one day, everything collapses. And that's exactly what happened to me. I had been married to Jessica for 5 years. We weren't perfect, but I believed we had something real. I worked long hours trying to build a future for us. She stayed home, managing things while finishing her part-time studies. We had our routine, our late-night talks, our weekend movie marathons. At least, I thought we did. That night, I was at the office, stuck in a late-night meeting. I texted Jessica earlier, asking if she had eaten. She took her time to reply. "Yeah, I did. Busy. Talk later." That was it. No emojis, no follow-up, no "love you," just cold words on a screen. I felt a pang of unease but brushed it off. Maybe she was tired. Maybe I was overthinking. Then at 10:14 p.m., my phone vibrated on the desk. Jessica was video calling me. I almost didn't pick up. My meeting wasn't over, and I assumed she wanted to remind me to grab something from the store. But something about the timing, it felt off. I swiped to answer. The moment the screen lit up, my world came crashing down. Jessica was on our bed, her back against the headboard. But she wasn't alone. A man, half naked, toned, and way too comfortable in my house, was next to her. His arm was lazily draped over her stomach. They were laughing, smiling, completely oblivious to the fact that I could see everything. My grip on the phone tightened. My chest felt like it was caving in. My pulse pounded in my ears. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My wife, the woman I gave everything to, was lying in our bed with another man. And the worst part? She didn't even realize the camera was on. I wanted to believe this was a mistake, that somehow I was imagining things. But then he kissed her, right there in front of me. And Jessica? She kissed him back. My entire body went cold, my breath caught in my throat. And then, before I even knew what I was doing, I screamed, "Jessica, what the hell is this?" The laughter stopped. The man froze. Jessica's face drained of color. Then click. The call ended. I stared at the screen, my mind spiraling. My hands were shaking. My heart felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. What the hell just happened? A million thoughts flooded my head. Do I call her back? Do I drive home and confront her? Do I sit here and process the fact that my marriage is over? But one thing was clear, my life would never be the same after this. I didn't think, I didn't plan, I just moved. The second that call ended, I grabbed my car keys with shaking hands and stormed out of the office. My co-workers barely had time to register my wild-eyed, furious expression before I was out the door, racing toward my car. My heart was hammering in my chest, my breathing erratic. My hands trembled as I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white. I was driving too fast, barely stopping at red lights. My mind was consumed with one thought. I have to see this with my own eyes. The entire drive home, my brain replayed the disgusting image over and over. Jessica, lying in our bed with another man, the way she smiled, the way she kissed him back, the way she didn't even look guilty. I should have noticed the signs, the sudden coldness, the lack of affection, the way she started dressing up more, even when she wasn't going anywhere, the late-night study sessions that made no sense. I was a fool. As I pulled into our driveway, my stomach twisted. The lights inside were still on. My home, our home, where I had felt safe, where I had dreamed of a future, was now a place of lies and betrayal. I slammed the car door and marched up the porch, rage boiling inside me. My hands were shaking as I unlocked the door, barely holding myself back from kicking it open. I stepped inside. The air felt different, tainted, and then I heard whispers coming from our bedroom. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. Every muscle in my body was wound tight. I wasn't even thinking straight anymore. I just moved, my feet taking me straight to the source of my pain. I shoved the door open, and there they were. Jessica was sitting on the bed, still wearing his shirt, his damn shirt. The guy was buttoning his jeans, his face turning to me in shock. For a second, nobody spoke. The room was thick with tension. Then Jessica's eyes widened. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" I laughed, a short, bitter, disbelieving laugh. "What am I doing here? Are you serious right now?" She scrambled off the bed, holding her hands up as if that would somehow undo everything. "Ethan, just let me explain." I explain. My voice came out louder than I expected. "I just saw you, Jessica. On video call. You called me while you were—" I gestured wildly at the bed, feeling physically sick. "While you were doing this?" The guy, tall, smug, and completely unfazed, rolled his eyes. "Look, man, I think you should calm down." That was it. That was the moment I snapped. Before I knew what I was doing, my fist collided with his jaw. He stumbled back, cursing. Jessica screamed, lunging toward me, but I was already seething. "You think this is funny?" My entire body was shaking. I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins, rage and heartbreak fighting for control. The guy straightened, rubbing his jaw. And then he smirked, like he had won. Jessica was breathing hard, panicked. She grabbed my arm, her eyes desperate. "Ethan, please, just listen to me. It's not what it looks like." I jerked my arm away. "Not what it looks like." "I saw you, Jessica." And then she said something that made my blood freeze. "Ethan, I was going to tell you, I swear, I didn't know how." The weight of her words hit me like a truck. "Going to tell me?" I took a step back, my stomach twisting. "So you've been doing this for a while?" My voice came out quieter. "This isn't some mistake, some one-time thing?" Jessica bit her lip, her face full of guilt but not regret. And that was all the answer I needed. Something inside me snapped. This wasn't just a betrayal, it was a choice, and I was about to make mine. I stood there, breathing hard, my fists clenched so tightly that my nails dug into my palms. My mind screamed at me to walk away, to calm down, to think. But no, Jessica didn't deserve my silence. She deserved to be exposed. I turned, storming toward the dresser where her phone was charging. She gasped and tried to stop me, but I was faster. I grabbed it and held it up. "Let's make things fair, Jessica. Since I saw you on video call, why don't we share this moment with everyone?" Her face drained of color. "Ethan, don't, please." She lunged for the phone, but I dodged. The other guy, Jason, or whatever his damn name was, tried to grab my arm, but I shoved him so hard that he stumbled back into the nightstand. "You want to cheat on me, Jessica? Fine, but you don't get to do it in secret. Let's show your friends, your family, your co-workers, the real you." I opened her phone and scrolled to her contacts. My hands were shaking. But my mind was crystal clear. I wasn't just going to expose her. I was going to make sure she never forgot this night. I tapped on the family group chat. Jessica's mum, her dad, her sister, even her close friends. Then I hit the video call button. Jessica screamed. She lunged at me, desperation twisting her face. "Ethan, stop! Please!" The call started ringing. "No, Jessica, you stop!" My voice was shaking with rage. "You threw away our marriage like it was nothing. You disrespected me, our vows, our home. You don't get to cry now." Her breathing turned ragged. She tried again to snatch the phone, but I moved away, pacing the room like a caged animal. And then the call connected. Jessica's mom answered first. "Sweetie? What's going on? Why are you calling this late?" Then her dad joined, her sister, her cousin. One by one, the family group lit up, their confused faces staring at the screen. And that's when I flipped the camera, straight to Jessica, standing there, in an oversized shirt that didn't belong to me. The bed behind her a complete mess. The moment they saw, gasps filled the call. Her mum covered her mouth. Her dad's face turned red. Her sister's eyes widened in shock. "Jessica!" Her mum's voice trembled. What is this?" Jessica burst into tears. "Mum, But her dad cut her off. His voice, usually warm and fatherly, was ice cold. "You're cheating on Ethan? In your own home?" Jessica's legs gave out, and she collapsed onto the bed. "Dad, please, just listen." Her sister's voice was sharp. "There's nothing to listen to. We saw it, Jessica. How could you do this?" And then, the final blow. Her mum's voice, broken, betrayed. "Ethan has been nothing but good to you. He gave you everything, and this is what you do to him." Jessica sobbed harder. Her hands covered her face, shaking. Jason, the idiot standing in the background, finally spoke. "All right, man, you've made your point. Let's just—" I cut him off. "Shut the hell up." My voice was deadly calm. "This is between me and my wife, not the side piece she threw her marriage away for." Jessica lifted her head, her mascara running. Her lips trembled as she tried to say something. I gave her one last look. Then I turned the camera back to her family. "Now you all know the truth. I hope you're proud of her." And with that, I ended the call. The silence in the room was thick, suffocating. Jessica looked like she was about to pass out. I took a deep breath, staring at the woman I once loved, the woman who had just destroyed everything we built. And then I made my decision. I wasn't going to let her get away with this. Exposing Jessica to her family wasn't enough. She had ruined my life without a second thought. Why should I hold back? She needed to feel the same shame, betrayal, and humiliation she had put me through. Jessica was still sitting on the bed, her face buried in her hands, sobbing. Jason, the useless piece of garbage standing in the corner, looked like he wanted to disappear. I took a deep breath, my heart pounding. This wasn't over. I picked up my phone this time, ignoring Jessica's broken sobs. I opened Facebook. Tap. Live video. Jessica's head snapped up. Her face was streaked with tears, her lips trembling. "Ethan, what are you doing?" I smirked coldly. "Oh, sweetheart, if you didn't want people to know, you should have kept your legs closed." Jason's eyes widened. "Dude, you're taking this too far." I held up a hand, cutting him off. "I warned you to shut up." Jessica scrambled off the bed, reaching for me. "Ethan, please, don't. Just talk to me. We can fix this." I laughed, a short, bitter sound. "Fix this? Jessica, you don't come back from something like this." The live icon was glowing red on my screen. The viewer count was already ticking up. Dozens, then hundreds. I turned the camera toward Jessica and Jason. "Hey everyone, this is my wife Jessica, and this—" I waved a hand toward Jason, who looked like he wanted to crawl under the bed. This is the guy she's been screwing behind my back while I was working my ass off to provide for her. Jessica gasped, "Ethan, stop!" She lunged for my phone, but I dodged her easily. The comments started rolling in. "WTF is happening? Is this real? Dude, no way. Cheating live? That's his wife? Oh, she's done for." My phone blew up with reactions. People were sharing the stream. The numbers kept climbing. 1,000 views, 2,500 views, 5,000. Jessica screamed, "Ethan, turn it off!" "Why?" I snapped back. "You weren't ashamed when you were doing it. You weren't crying when you were in bed with him. Why cry now, Jessica?" Jason grabbed his shirt and bolted for the door. I turned the camera to him. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jason. Apparently he likes married women." The comments flooded in even faster. "Exposing him too! Ha 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 ha, savage!" "Bro, you were a king for this." Jessica's about to lose everything. Jessica was shaking, hyperventilating. "Ethan, I beg you. People at work will see this. My boss, my colleagues." I tilted my head. "Oh, you mean the same job I helped you get? The one where your boss thinks you're some loyal, hard-working wife?" Her face turned pure white. "Ethan, no!" I smiled darkly. "Oops, too late." I scrolled through my contacts, found her office group chat, and dropped the live stream link. Jessica collapsed on the floor. Her boss was in the stream now. "Jessica, come to my office first thing in the morning. We need to talk." I turned off the live stream. My job was done. Jessica sat there, broken, shaking, a sobbing mess. And for the first time since I saw that video call, I felt free. I stood there, watching Jessica fall apart. She had humiliated me, lied to me, and destroyed our marriage without a second thought. Now she was the one facing shame, judgment, and complete ruin. But something still felt off. Jason had already run out the door, but Jessica... She wasn't fighting anymore. She wasn't begging me to stop. She just sat there, her face buried in her hands, her body shaking, not just from humiliation, but fear. What the hell was she afraid of? And then her phone rang. I glanced at the screen. Unknown caller. Jessica looked up, eyes wide with panic. She lunged for it, but I grabbed the phone first. "Who is this?" I demanded. Silence. Then a deep voice. "Jessica? Is everything okay?" I saw the live video. "Do you need me to handle this? Handle this?" My grip on the phone tightened. "Who the hell are you?" A pause. Then laughter. Cold, amused, mocking laughter. "Oh, so you must be Ethan." The way he said my name, like he knew me, like he had been laughing at me this whole time. I looked down at Jessica. She wasn't crying anymore. She was shaking her head, her lips moving silently, begging me not to keep talking. But I didn't stop. "Who are you?" I growled. The voice on the phone sighed, like he was bored. "Well, since the secret's out, I guess you should know. I'm not the only one Jessica's been with." My stomach dropped. "What the hell are you talking about?" I whispered. Jessica covered her face. "Ethan, please don't." The man chuckled. "You think Jason was the first?" "Oh no, man. Jessica's been mine for months. Jason's just the idiot who got caught. I'm the one who's been keeping her happy while you work late nights. I'm the one she really belongs to." The room spun. My chest tightened. I felt sick. This wasn't just one betrayal, it was multiple. Jessica had been cheating on me for months, not just with Jason, but with this guy, and who knew how many others. I turned to her, rage boiling inside me. "How long, Jessica? How many?" She sobbed. "Ethan, I messed up. I threw her phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. I had seen enough, heard enough. This wasn't a mistake. This was who she was, and I was done. I stepped toward the door. "You're nothing, Jessica. You threw away a man who actually loved you for what? Some lowlifes who will forget you in a week. She tried to reach for me. Ethan, please. I pulled my ring off my finger, dropped it on the floor, and walked away. For good. I walked out of that house and into the cold night air, but the weight in my chest didn't lift. The betrayal was still lodged deep inside me, burning, twisting, breaking me apart in ways I never thought possible. I got into my car and just sat there, staring at the steering wheel. My hands were still shaking. My mind still replayed every moment, Jessica in our bed, Jason smirking, the voice on the phone confirming my worst nightmare. I had lost everything in a matter of hours. But had I? I thought about all the nights I spent trying to make her happy, the sacrifices I made, the love I gave freely, only to realize she was never mine to begin with. And in that moment I felt something unexpected. Relief. I was free. For the first time in years, I wasn't stuck loving someone who never truly loved me back. I wasn't wasting my time on a woman who had already moved on, long before I found out. I pulled out my phone and opened our wedding photo. Jessica was smiling, her hand in mine, the promise of forever in her eyes. I stared at it for a long moment. Then, with a deep breath, I deleted it. All of it. Every text, every picture, every memory, gone. And as I drove away from that house for the last time, I realized something. Jessica didn't break me. She freed me. I wasn't the fool anymore. She was, because I would heal. I would move on. And she? She would spend the rest of her life regretting the one thing she could never undo, losing a man who actually loved her.